Good morning. Good morning and Happy New Year. Blessed New Year. I'm Tom Merrill, grateful member of this community. Pretty well taken your seats. Please take this time to greet your neighbor. Or neighbors.
I should sit next to you. Yeah. Why don't you put my things over there? I can watch from there.
Well, there's a saying that when one door closes, another can open. I'd like you to please take this time to close your cell phone so that you can fully open yourselves to the spirit of the music and spoken word this morning. So, welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. We honor wherever you are on your spiritual path and know that there is something wonderful for you here this morning. Our Learning Center recently went through a downsizing and spring cleaning this fall, actually. And as Operations Corps leader, I was asked to dispose of some materials that the office could no longer store. And among them was a sizable collection of audio tapes. A vast majority of these recording dating back to services that were recorded here here in other locations over the last 20 years. Also included recordings from other art, religious science churches, IONS events, and national conventions. I saw this and I noticed we're having a book study with Angelus Arian, and at least one of the tapes has her speaking here. I saw that as an opportunity to enrich myself with the task of converting these tapes, or the best of them, to digital files, which is going to be a long process. Anyone who wants to join me can. And I've just begun and have already received some rewarding jewels that I found there. One is a parable that I consider to be about New Year's resolutions. It's a fellow of modest means discovered a jewel-encrusted box that he was enamored with and forked up the money to buy it. Once home, he polished it up and set it up on the windowsill. And when he did, he saw how shabby his curtains were. So he put the effort in and cleaned up and even replaced the curtains. That made the dining room table look kind of poor, so he went and refinished it. One thing led to another, and over time, his whole house was renovated from that one little item. So if dropping a few pounds is your New Year's resolution, you don't necessarily have to take on the whole thing and then forget it a week later. What you may want to do is just start with a healthy breakfast of oatmeal every day, or commit to not eating past 8 o'clock at night, or whatever it may be. One small success leads to another. Please join us in our morning chant, the words of which will be on the wall behind me, following by the morning spiritual mind treatment offered by our one and only Reverend Karyl to take you deeply into your center.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One.
Good morning. And Happy New Year.
The light's not on.
Yep, it looks like
light's not on.
it looks like we don't have electricity with part of this. We've had some gremlins in the some of those leprechauns from Solstice are still around the electricity. So Dana, the words are going to be really easy today. So we can just let that go, I'm sure. So
It's all about letting go again?
Just letting go again, that's right. So that's what I'd like you to uncross your arms and legs and and just allow yourself to turn within. And in this wonderful open body posture, we make ourselves available to the infinite. In this beautiful morning that is the beginning of what we know to be 2012. What a wonderful way to begin with plunging into God. And so here we are at one, joined, whole, complete, and perfect, living that one life divine. I know that my mind is the mind of God, that which lives in every cell of my body is the life of God, and the energy of God moves me step at a time through my life, the experience of my life, because my life is immortal. This is true for each person here. And so it is that in this holy moment, I open to the possibility that the infinite presence of God can show up as me and through me in more magnificent ways than I ever thought possible. I know this for myself, and I know this for each person here. Each one of us being the light of the world. Each one of us being that life that the world has been waiting for. Each one of us coming to earth for a very specific and important reason. And this is the year. This is the year to give it. This is the year to express it. So I claim for myself and each person the divine support and guidance, the courage and vision, the love and the stick-to-itiveness, the consciousness and the growth to give what we came to give and to experience what our soul wants to experience. It's a good prayer for the beginning of 2012. And so in gratitude, I release this word, knowing it is done as I release it into the law. And so it is. Amen. Welcome once again. What a great thing to do for yourself the first day of 2012. So I would like to have you welcome our wonderful music and artistic director. Bodhi did a concert right through midnight last night, and so he has participated strongly already in 2012, giving of his gifts to many, many, many people, and we are the next group. So please welcome Bodhi Sechko.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we finally got to bed around 3 o'clock. Just it was a beautiful evening. Sending peace around the world. face the fear. Remind me. Remember to surrender. Remember to surrender. I remember to surrender. Remember to surrender. Oh, when darkness comes, I want you to be the one to open my eyes. Come and surprise me, help me realize what I've known all along. Remember to surrender. Remember to surrender. Remember to surrender. I remember to surrender. Oh, if I lose my way, just pull me back. Oh, when I'm lost, oh, send me a sign. Remember to surrender. Remember to surrender. Remember to surrender. Remember to surrender.
So I'm the announcement person this morning. So we had a couple of little children over there. This is our blessing of the children. What happened to those little children? Oh, great. Oh, okay. Okay, then. Let's just bless those children over there. And take a moment to bless every child in our life. I know that over the holidays we got to be with grandbabies and children back from college, and so the generation to come. They're here, and so what a blessing they are to us. The next step in the announcement process is gratitude. And so there are a couple of people that did some extra special things over the holidays that I would like to acknowledge. And one of them is looking like she's taking the morning off, and that's Joyce Kawasaki, who hosted the Christmas dinner. So how many of you went to Joyce's? Was that so sweet? Was that fabulous? Great. So thank you for supporting each other in that wonderful celebration. And then the other person is Abigail Milliken States, who made where is she? Oh, stand up, honey. Abigail entered a new realm of divine expression with the solstice, and that is a lighting technology guru. And it was quite a challenging thing with the lighting, and most people did not notice a thing except how fabulous it was. So thank you. So after today, we have wonderful ways to begin your new year. On Wednesday, Janet Ryan is doing her Visioning for Your Life. And so what a perfect time to do that at the beginning of the new year. That's on Wednesday at the Learning Center. Incidentally, if some of you don't know where the Learning Center is, directions from here to there are on the education table. You can just pick them up and take them with you. Then next week, we will have a quick start class with Marilyn Letzos, who is back. And so Quick Start is an introduction to the philosophy and a little bit of the practices that we do. It is a wonderful way for review or to start off with a really good foundation of what Science of Mind is about. And then the following Sunday, the 15th of the month, there will be a wonderful class called it's called Embracing Spirit in the New Year, right here. And this is taught by a wonderful team. We have Michael Hart and Pat Malone, who have taught Prac 2 for a number of years. And that is really an advanced class, but they are such great teachers and such a great team that if you are a beginner, and just want some help in clarifying your intentions, this will be really wonderful. And you know what I know for them too, Pat and Michael, is that not having beginners in a while, it will be really, really sweet for them. So there's a sign-up sheet on the education table. Many of your friends have already signed up, so join them. And then I'd like to call up Posey for the Essential Ernest Holmes class, a new offering that we have.
Good morning. Ooh, Happy New Year. How many of you have been served by hearing the philosophy spoken here?
Oh,
okay. How many of you know that the founder of this denomination is Ernest Holmes? How many of you have read Ernest Holmes? Great. Well, we're going to dive into the entire lifetime of writing by Ernest Holmes. We're not reading all of it. It's been compiled in a book. But we're going to study from his beginning thoughts to where he was by the time he died. And so if any of you would like to bring forward your ferocious curiosity to delve more deeply into what this whole religion, philosophy, psychology, as he called it in the beginning, that we're about here, of deepening to truly know that when we change our thinking, we can absolutely transform our lives. So if you would like to join me in this study, in this deepening, in this transformational journey, we're going to be studying on Wednesday nights at the Learning Center. We're going to skip a few weeks, so we won't end the class till April 11th. We're starting January 25th. And the sign-up is over here, and the only prerequisite is that you've taken one of the foundational courses. That's Foundations or Beyond Limits. And for any of you who've ever thought about becoming a practitioner, this is one of the new requirements as a prerequisite. So come and have fun with me.
thank you very much. And finally, our founding minister, Dr. Lloyd Tupper, did have a knee replacement. He is a bionic man now. He had, Thursday, he had a complete knee replacement. He's in Marin General, and he's in that time of really not wanting visitors, if you know that time in the healing process. However, Reverend Brent has brought some paper for you to write a greeting for him. I will be very briefly visiting him after service. And so right next to... What? Okay, it'll be on the heart-to-heart table, which is back here. So any of you that want to give a loving message to our Reverend Lloyd, please do that. And then, if you are here for the very first time, what a great first day for you on the first day of 2012. And we welcome you. We hope that you feel right at home. And if you're somebody that's back after a long time, welcome home. So moving into now the message from me. This is a beautiful, it started out being a soft morning. There was a lot of mist. And in the winter, I love these soft mornings. Now it's brilliant, bright springtime, and the trees are wondering what in the world is going on. But there's a feeling of newness, even though this weather that we're having, kind of cold at night and chilly during the day, there's no big change in it from last week to this. Last week was Christmas, and this week something has happened. There's a feeling of newness that's supported by the consciousness of the world. So we just woke up this morning, and we're calling it 2012. So it's a new feeling, and this new feeling is, I recommend that you use it. I recommend that you just brush off whatever was and step into this new day, this new year, 2012, with so much consciousness around it, with the Mayan calendar and the science saying, the poles have shifted before, and the magnetic field doing something. And what this says to me is that there is support for transformation. There is support for a big whole system change. And that as we pour love into our own lives and into the world, this whole system change will be absolutely fabulous. And so, to ride on that consciousness, our theme for 2012 is Tools of Transformation. You've got the Tools of Transformation here and Tools for Transformation here. We'll talk about this in a minute. But that's our theme, Tools for Transformation. So let me just talk a little bit about what I think transformation is. It seems to me that when we transform, we change ourselves completely, and there's also a feeling in that word that we change ourselves completely for the better. So that sounds really good to me. And I mean, my life is pretty good. I know many of your lives are pretty good. Some of you are going through challenges, but how would it be with you if your health and wealth changed for the better? Okay, good. And how about your relationships, your work, your peace of mind, your creativity, your ability to manifest whatever level it is now? It changed for the better. Yeah. Okay? And the world changes for the better. More peace, more prosperity for all, more oneness. Would that be okay with you? Yeah. You would like this? Yes. I would like this too. I'm not going to say however, because that negates what I just said. But and when we change for the better, what happens is we leave what we know. We leave what has been familiar to us. We leave behind our comfortable assumptions, judgments, and beliefs and patterns of life. If we are to change that's what stops people from transforming. They like the idea of everything being better, but leaving what's kind of familiar to them, well, can't I just have everything be better? Kind of like rain down on me, but I'll just stay the same. I'll just maintain my own judgments because they're familiar. And then, but I would love that transformation with everything being better. That's not the way it happens. When we change, we leave behind something in order to accept something new. So I support myself and each of you transforming for the better. And another piece of truth in spiritual growth is that you do it yourself. Last pledge program was do-it-yourself prosperity. Well, this is do-it-yourself transformation, because that's the only way it's done, is that you get to do it. Whatever changes you make must be self-driven. So we have, as you know, we have classes, we have practitioners, we have people to support you in your changes. If you have ever, people sometimes remember the first spiritual mind treatment that was ever given to them because the possibility of their life being like it was prayed in is so transformational that they remember that moment. But if it's really going to happen for you, there has to be a change in you. It can't be done to you. Now, in the Bible, it's very, very clear in the book of Romans where it says, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to change your mind. And a little bit further on it says, "Let the mind be in you that was in a Christ Jesus." So the mind that you have now with its habitual workings, you lovingly kiss goodbye. Thank you for the service you have given me. And I am stepping into that mind that was in a Christ Jesus. So translating that first verse, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind," it would read, "I am entirely changing myself and my life for the better by aligning my mind with the divine mind." That's the work. That's what we do. That's the work. So I want to make a distinction at this point because we think about the activity of the mind as thinking, right? Have you ever thought that there is a difference between thinking about something and thinking something? So we can think about peace and we can think about love. And if we extend that a little bit, the extension is, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if the world were in peace? And wouldn't it be nice if we all loved each other? In thinking about that, I think that's really good. And although thinking about peace and thinking about love is better than thinking about vengeance, it's not terribly creative. You know, in my first job, I was a high school English teacher. And there is a tense that people use incorrectly. They use incorrectly in advertising. They use it incorrectly in the newspaper, in publishing. It's the subjunctive. The subjunctive tense is the if thing. It's not really real. If I were to contemplate peace, something might happen. But it's if. And there's a whole set of verbs that goes with the if. And it means it's not really true, but it's a real maybe. That's not what is going to change your life. That is thinking about something. Thinking something, on the other hand, is aligning our conscious thought and our feeling state, which is the subjective. I'm not going to test you on this at the end. But it's aligning our conscious thought and our feeling state and our action with the new mind. And catching our mind when it goes astray and goes back to that pattern that we used to have. Reasoning with ourselves that even though the evidence of the world points us in this direction, we know that creative thought is the only creative power, and therefore we realign our mind with the divine mind and maintain the new thought, follow in that empowered thought until it manifests. That's thinking. Okay? That's more challenging than thinking about something. It really is. I am going to maintain peace of mind. And if I find myself perturbed, I will not allow myself to stay perturbed. I will lower my shoulders. I will breathe deeply. I will, do whatever practices work for me. I will sit still. I will focus on love. I will remember a peaceful time in my past. I will feel my heartbeat slow. And you do it over and over and over and over and over again until peace is your default position. This is what Ernest Holmes says about this very thing in the textbook. Ignorance stays with us until the day of enlightenment, until our vision toward the Spirit broadens and casts out the image of a no longer useful littleness. What we now experience, we may cease experiencing if we have the will and the imagination to set our vision in an opposite direction and hold it there. It is the office of the imagination to set the vision. The will should hold it in place until the creative genius of the inner life transforms the image of limitation and transmutes it into liberty under law. Now, did you get all that? Kind of, sort of? What he's saying is that we maintain our vision, and although he uses the word will, we don't have to grit our teeth and go, I will be peaceful. We don't do that. We calmly take ourselves back to a peaceful thought. Calmly take ourselves back. Calmly take ourselves back. That's the will. Just make a new choice. A choice for peace. A choice for love. Another choice for peace. Another choice for love. So, your New Year's resolutions, your New Year's intentions will happen if you think them. And they will not happen if you think about them. So managing our use of divine mind and getting that happy anticipation and gratitude going in the renewed mind of God, living in the mind of God, and then following it with action. See, that's the piece that is really, we're called science of mind, but the mind really grabs a hold of something when our action follows it. And so it's thought, feeling, action. Now, I'm going to make this as easy and pleasant and enjoyable for me and you as absolutely possible. And sometimes you know that spiritual work can be arduous. And it can also be deeply, deeply fun and enjoyable. Hence, you have people who decide to be ministers and people who decide to be practitioners. And lo and behold, they stay in those careers because it is deeply, deeply enjoyable. So here is one of the things that we're going to do this year that is going to help you with thinking, feeling, and action. So, this was done by Jet Walker. We kind of conceived this together, but Jet did this. You all have one, and this is your best friend for the whole year. There are these little leaves on this tree, and they're numbered. Number 1 is right here, and we're going to do something with number 1 today. There are 2 lines. They're short, so you have to be, when you write on them, you have to be tiny, and you have to be focused. But 1 line is for an affirmation. So we're going to have a word. Every week, we're going to have a word, and the word is going to go in the leaf. And then you're going to write yourself a personal affirmation and write yourself a personal action step. Okay? Every week. Here is the sample. This is not today's word, but it will be a word soon. Vision is the word on this leaf. And here's the affirmation. I open to God's vision for my life. And here's the action step. I do one thing each day to support my vision of peace. Now this is, of course, just an example. You will do it for you. Why? Because it's a do-it-yourself transformational year. Okay? So, I also would love it if if you decide to do something and it really, really works for you about a particular concept or word, that you share it with me, and then we can share it together with the community, because this will inspire other people so, so much. Okay, so that's one of the things we're going to do. Additionally, we are going to have a year-long book study. This is a new book by Angeles Arian. It's called Living in Gratitude, and it's by month. It starts with January, and lo and behold, here we are, January. So this is going to be an in-home book study. And we've had these we've had these in-home book studies before, but this is a little bit different. This is not a 6-week or an 8-week book study. This is a 12-month book study, and you will have one meeting per month. So today, what we want to do is sign up people who would begin to host these book studies. Now, you don't have to commit to hosting 12, but I would like you to commit to hosting like 2 or 3, and then your group will be solidified, and maybe someone else can take it for a while. But there is a sign-up sheet, and I'll be at the education table after the service so that you can, I can answer any questions. But we are signing up hosts today. So, I want you to know that this does not take the place of classes, because this is once a month and a class is every week. And this is self-taught, not in the presence of, one of our master faculty. But it gives you a choice of how you do this year. Because, once again, it's a do-it-yourself transformation for you. You can do it alone, with working with this. You can do it in a group. You can do both. Coming to service every single Sunday, of course. So, and if you happen to miss one Sunday, all of these are going to be archived online. It's going to be fabulous. You can listen to the talk, get the word, all that stuff. So, oh my God, this is what I did between Christmas and New Year's. So the first word is the first step in transformation. The first word that you put right here in this little leaf with number 1 is opening. Opening. Now, you don't have to do it now, but you may. So we started with, I am opening up in sweet surrender. And I want you to look at the altar now that Galia made. That she has a woman, a swan, and an angel like this. Just open to life, open to God, open to expression, open to experience. That this one, do this with me, and don't smack anybody, but just feel how great this is. Yeah, great. You open up the chest, the back, take a deep breath. Yay. So opening is such a great, great word. Open is an adjective, a verb, and a noun. It's so, there I am with Miss Jones, the English teacher again. But I want to talk about a few of these meanings. The first one is, an opening is like a gap in a line of trees. There's an opening. Or a gap in a fence. There's an opening. And that word gap is very important. Actually, Deepak Chopra has taught for years and years and years, when he teaches meditation, about the gap between thoughts. What you do in meditation is a technique of emptying your mind, so that in between your thoughts there is a gap, there is an opening, and that opening is to the divine mind. It is when our yappy mind goes to sleep a little bit, enough so that this opening to the mind of God can happen, this gap. in our chattery mind. It's very important. So that's one meaning of the word opening, is that gap. And that's what we essentially seek for when we do visioning. We let go of any thoughts of our own. We ask a question, and instead of thinking or thinking about, we open. It's very powerful. Another meaning of that word is the first part of something. An opening is, this is the opening of 2012. It's the first part of something. And so when we are in the first part of this whole transformative year, and it's very important for us to really put down the consciousness of powerful transformation and then open to something new. Another definition of the word is an opportunity to do something, like there's an opening in the job market. So this is our opportunity to do the thing that we came into this life to do. And if you're doing it already, we get to do it with greater intensity, greater joy, greater concentration, greater involvement. Another definition is unlocking. To open a door, we sometimes have to unlock the door. And so we are unlocking our pure potential. We're opening maybe to a long forgotten desire. We're unlocking that lid that we put on that desire, because impoverished adults when we were little told us that it wasn't a good desire, or who did we think we were, or anything like that. We're unlocking our pure potential. Another definition is having access to the inside, like we open a jar, so we have access to what's inside. And that's what we're doing. We are opening ourselves so that God has access to our insides. And reciprocally, we have access to the inside of the infinite. There's no barriers. Another wonderful meaning is not trying to hide. We're open. We're not trying to hide. Fulgham, Robert Fulgham, in one of his books, has this wonderful little essay about watching children play hide and seek. And there was this one child who was really, really, really a good hider. And he hid so well that the other kids got tired of looking for him. And they kind of went on and played something else. And Fulgham could see him, because I think he was like below this window or something. Anyway, Fulgham could see him. And he kind of said to himself and vibed the kid, get found. Get found. And so that's what we're trying to not hide from God, not hide from our good. Now, other definitions are free and generous, free from bondage, undefended in wartime, freely available without restrictions. There's literally dozens of definitions of the verb, the noun, and the adjective. And they're all great for us. They're absolutely great, because it means, all of them mean unfettered, comfortable, and free, with sort of a porousness that where, Jean Houston says, holy, you can think of it as sacred or really porous, full of holes, so that God can move freely within us and around us. So we want to be that open. So reviewing now about the tree, you're going to write opening in number 1, and then you are going to ask yourself, what is a good affirmation for me about opening? And if you're not really clear on how to do an affirmation, go to the Quick Start class. And then you have an action step, and it could be something very personal to you. I will open to my Father for the first time in 30 years. Or it can be less specific than that. And I want to encourage you as well, This year, it's so true that what you put into an endeavor is what you get out of it. And I mean, Bodie and I and the volunteers and the altar women will do wonderful services for you, 52 of them throughout the year. And so you can just do that and have an enjoyable time on Sunday. But if you do any of this other thing that we have planned for you, you will transform. And the more you do, the bigger your transformation is. So with this word opening, I just want to conclude by giving you some ideas about how to live this word. And you can actually start anywhere. If you have the affirmation that we sang today, I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. You can just sing that. You can just say that. You can just write that. You can put it on your mirror. You can put it on your refrigerator. You can put it on your sun visor. You can do one thing a day that feels undefended. You know, like just open up and be courageous and step into something that feels a little bit scary, but taking a deep breath, lowering your shoulders, you're open for what blessing may come. And you can actually focus on not crossing your arms and legs. Now, I know that's a very comfortable position for resting sometimes, like you're all rearranging yourselves. But if you habitually cross your legs or your arms, and if you say to yourself, this is my practice. For 1 week, I am not going to close my arms or legs. Then you get to feel what it feels like to be undefended. And that's the beginning of change. That might feel a little undefended. And that might feel a little bit challenging. But it's a baby first step, for gosh sakes. Just uncross your legs. And it is a first step. You can look the word up in dictionaries and concordances. And I was thinking actually of Suzanne Mabarty with this one. You could start a blog on all these words. You know, she does a blog for the Season for Nonviolence as it starts every year. And you could start a blog. You could just email your friends, I am opening up, how about you? I want to read to you something from the introduction that Marianne Williamson wrote the introduction to this book. And let me just say that you're going to love this book. It's about gratitude, but it's about so many other things. It's about every single practice that you've ever heard of in relation to gratitude. And it'll change your life. So this is what Marianne Williamson says in the foreword, and it relates to opening. The obviousness of a concept like you should always say thank you hides an entire world of possibilities. If I give you a drink of water and you say thank you, then I'm more likely to want to give you another one should you become thirsty again. But if I give you a drink of water and you don't have the courtesy to say thank you, then I'm more likely to figure you can get your own darn glass of water the next time. The same is true with the universe. Not to anthropomorphize it or ascribe to it characteristics of a petty ego. It's just that whether we're talking about other people or the Creator itself, there is something about the expression of gratitude that opens doors that do not otherwise open. This is a spiritual fact. So this is how gratitude relates to our word of the day, which is opening. You could put this word on Post-it notes. You could meditate on the word. And here's a really good one, because I was thinking, I bet a lot of us think we're really open. And we were thinking, well, I'll just wait for next week's word, because I'm really open. Here's a great practice. Go to someone who knows you very well and whom you trust to tell you the truth, and say, I'm really, really interested in the answer to this question. How open do you perceive me to be? And ask that of a couple dear friends. And you know, you might get some new information, which will help you to change. So I also want to encourage you once again to share your findings, because just as I have given you some ideas about how to work with opening, maybe next week we'll have somebody that did something really miraculous, and we'll share it with you. And then, you know, gosh, maybe, I don't know, you could write on the back or write a new idea here or something, or, you know, put this in a journal and write a whole bunch on every word. How great would that be? So, that's what our year is going to be about. How do you like it so far? Yeah. Good. And I'm doing it with you. I'm doing it with you. Another change that came to me is that ever since I came here in 1995, we have been doing the inner work to close the talk. And it's changing this year. Instead of calling it the inner work, we're going to call it casting the vision. And I'm going to pray into a world that is opening. And then next and next and next, because we have to think it, embody it, to be the change. Okay. So let's cast the vision of a world opening. And so, as we move into this wonderful, open heart, this deeply open place in us where we have breathed deeply, we've waved our arms, we've opened our chest, dropped our shoulders. We have contemplated, we have thought about, and we're going to think, opening, 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 opening up in sweet surrender. And envision a world where all people are open one unto another. All people are transparent in their thoughts and feelings. This is a world that is filled with trust, because no one tells a falsehood. A falsehood is about a world where people are closed. And the world that we are stepping into is a world in which everyone is open. And so what their truth is, what their thoughts are, what the facts of their life transmit are obvious. There are no manipulations or stories that are told for effect, because everyone is wide open. There are no secrets because of fear. There may still be secrets, but they're all for wonderful surprises. And because everyone is so open, even surprises are much more challenging. But because they're much more challenging, they're much more fun. But there are no secrets because of fear. In this world that we are stepping into and creating, even as we embody it, everyone's intuition is heightened, because an opening anywhere is an opening everywhere. And the mind of God has a clear shot straight into our awareness. This is a world in which divine guidance is respected and understood. And there is not any conflict between one's divine guidance and someone else's divine guidance, because that one mind of God operates freely in all people. In this world of opening, there is clear communication. And because there is clear communication, everyone knows that each other's feeling place is similar. We all grieve, we all celebrate. And so this world is one of oneness, where everyone feels connected, one unto another. This is a world where there is no us and them. It is just us being open with one another. And before closing this vision casting, if there is anyone here who is hurting or feels limited in some way, this beautiful experience of opening, which we all are sharing now, assists with anything that feels closed or limited. Simply giving whatever that is into the opening of this moment and knowing that divine guidance, intuition, and assistance from God and from each other as divine life together is forthcoming. This is the vision of opening. Blessed be. And now if the ushers would get ready to accept the tithes and offerings, and for each one of us to take the gift that we're going to give in our hands and just place it near our heart, and imagine the word of the day, opening, as it applies to this practice of giving our money. And just how it would feel to be so open that we shared so generously because we were so certain that our needs are met and that God provides, that there was never, ever again that little feeling of, oh, there's not enough. No, there is enough. There is more than enough. And we open into that truth. Blessed be. Is the truth. So I bless this offering as it moves into and through this community, opening, opening, opening everywhere it goes, blessing as it goes, and so it is. Amen. Okay, so very, very, very good beginning for 2012, and and we are off and running. So I'll be at the education table. There's a lot to sign up for. Remember Reverend Lloyd's loving greeting. And gosh, it's almost time to start shopping for Valentine's Day in the bookstore.
Shame on you, girl.
So I'm going to ask Lisa to come up and pray us out. Oops. Oh. Don't look at that yet.
So I asked the practitioners of the day to come down. They are the practitioners at the back table at the end of service that will pray for you. So if you have anything that you would like to have more opening in this week, please utilize the practitioners at the back table. And if no one's available, there's a box back there and prayer forms to fill out, and the prayer practitioners will be in prayer for you all week. So as usual, you are so supported. We are all so supported. What a supportive community. And right now, the practitioners that are present today are surrounding the room, symbolizing that container of prayer that we are all in all the time. And moving into our closing prayer, I must tell you that I witnessed a black bird in the back, and it was dipping its beak into the opening in the rock where the water flows, in the little waterfall back there. I am reminded that in the opening is Spirit. because Spirit is everywhere all the time. And where Spirit is, there is great nurturing and great nourishment. And so I claim for all. I claim for this community. I claim for the world. The nourishment, the nurturing, the deep, flowing abundance of God is available in the opening. For it is where Spirit is, because Spirit is everywhere. And so I just embrace this truth. I embrace this community. And I simply let it be. And so it is.
Please, and the affirmation is up and ready for you. I open my heart to the love of God. I open my... Okay, what, it was gone? Oh. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. I open my heart to the love of God. I open my mind to God's mind. I open my consciousness to be inspired for good and used for divine benefit. I make myself available for transformation. Woohoo!
Coming up. For you. Oh, good.